Hey Cowboys Nation! If you don't want to miss any first-hand news from America's team, subscribe to the channel now, as we are always attentive to the latest news from the Dallas Cowboys, and here you will always be in the know with. The Dallas Cowboys backfield will look remarkably different in 2023, but the team is being pushed to make even more changes by trading for Minnesota Vikings star Dalvin Cook. From a compensation standpoint, Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox suggests a reasonable proposal that has the Cowboys trading a 2024 fourth-round selection and 2025 fifth-rounder in exchange for Cook. Cook could be that high-end complement to Pollard that Dallas needs, and with $14.2 million in cap space, the Cowboys could afford to grab him, Knox wrote on May 25, 2023. The question, of course, is whether Minnesota would be willing to trade him inside the conference. While Cook has 3 years left on his contract, virtually everyone knows the Vikings are willing to move on. This lowers his trade value and likely puts it in line with what the Detroit Lions got for DeAndre Swift during draft weekend. The challenge is it is hard to imagine the Cowboys are willing to take on Cook's $10.4 million salary for 2023. Cook still has 3 seasons remaining on a lucrative 5-year, $63 million. The Cowboys are unlikely willing to take on Vikings RB Dalvin Cook's $63 million contract. Dallas just got out of the long-term big money running back business by releasing Ezekiel Elliott in March. The Cowboys are using the $10 million franchise tag on Tony Pollard, but his future beyond this season remains uncertain. Unlike Elliott, there is no sign of a drop-off in Cook's production, as the 4-time Pro Bowler has posted 4 straight seasons notching more than 1,100 yards. Cook had 264 carries for 1,173 yards and 8 touchdowns while averaging 4.4 yards per rush in 17 starts last season. The Pro Bowler also added 39 receptions for 295 yards and 2 TDs through the air. Dallas would be a logical landing spot for Dalvin Cook if Minnesota releases the star. Cook's presence would bolster the Cowboys' Super Bowl chances, but it is hard to imagine Dallas showing an interest unless the running back agreed to a restructured deal. Dallas could also make a run at Cook if the Playmaker is ultimately released by Minnesota. The Vikings would take an $8.2 million dead cap hit by cutting Cook instead of striking a trade, per Spatrack. Asked if Dalvin Cook will be on the roster this season, Adolfo Mensah didn't say yes, ESPN's Kevin Seifert tweeted on April 13. Conversations are always ongoing with him. We're trying to be solutions-oriented and always try to put the roster together within our constraints. Cook's 2023 cap number is $14.1 million. The Cowboys could make another move to snag an additional running back. The Cowboys re-signed Pollard, drafted versatile former Kansas State standout Deuce Vaughn, and signed veteran back Ronald Jones too. Despite these moves, there is still some skepticism on whether Dallas has enough firepower in the backfield given Elliott's departure. The Athletic's John Makota admitted to having concerns as to whether the Cowboys have done enough at running back given Pollard is coming off a fractured fibula. From everything I've heard, I think Pollard will be fully healthy by the start of the season, Makota detailed on May 24. They might ease him in during training camp. Running backs aren't getting hit much there, and he wasn't going to play much in the preseason even if fully healthy. I think he'll be fine. But I do have concerns about just assuming he can take on a significant increase in carries. They need him as close to healthy entering the playoffs as possible. To me, that means finding a back who can take on some of the dirty work that Elliott was used to handling. Maybe that player is on the roster. Maybe that's someone they add in free agency before the season starts. Hey Cowboys fan, in your opinion, Dalvin Cook would be a good signing for the Cowboys or not? What's your opinion? Put it in the comments because it's very important for the Dallas Cowboys. Stay tuned because at any time I update you on the latest Cowboys news.